My guest today is Elliott Fullam. He's an actor and musician best known for his brilliant portrayal of Jonathan in the breakout horror hit Terrifier 2. The success of Terrifier 2 is unprecedented. Art the Clown has entered the zeitgeist. The movie has been praised by Stephen King and has launched its own subgenre as the first mega slasher. When I interviewed fellow castmate Kaylee Hyman, I described it this way. Damien Leone has proved to be a skilled writer, director, and master special effects makeup artist. It's as if he's infused this movie with an undying love for the genre, and the audience can feel it. But Terrifier 2 would not be the juggernaut it is without its exquisite cast. The characters Jonathan and his sister Sienna, played masterfully by Lauren Lavera, proved to be formidable foils to David Howard Thornton's Art the Clown. Elliott will reprise his role in Terrifier 3, right there, set for release October 25th, 2024. But fans can enjoy his music while we wait. Elliott released his first album, What's Wrong, under the Kill Rock Stars label on his 18th birthday. His second album, End of Ways, dropped in September. Fans of Elliott Smith, Mazzy Star, and Nick Drake will love these beautiful and hugely personal tracks dealing with childhood, heartbreak, and survival. His last album was written during a period while helping a loved one escape an abusive situation. Elliott has always been deeply passionate about music. From the age of 9, he's hosted Little Punk People, a music interview show with over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, 80,000 followers on Instagram, 300,000 on TikTok, and his chat with James Hetfield of Metallica has 1.8 million views. He's been blazing a trail for interviewers like me, and I am thrilled to have him on the show. Elliott, it's a pleasure to see you.
Thank you. I loved that introduction. You went all out. You did the all right. That surprised me. That was a good introduction. I loved it. Great stuff.
Thank you. Since we last saw each other, your parents had an anniversary, and Josie celebrated her birthday. So congratulations to them, and happy birthday to Josie.
Thank you so much. I'll tell her once it's done. I'll say happy birthday. happy belated birthday. Nice.
Okay. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Yeah.
Your mother is Danielle Calcaterra She was raised in South Florida and attended Jupiter High School. Go Warriors. She lived in Palm Beach Gardens, about an hour's drive from the house where I was born.
Wow. That's interesting. You went, and you got art. You got some art too.
Your mother is the artist behind beautifully gothic, spooky yet sweet characters, paintings, and hand-painted horror decor. Pieces might include oddities like seven-legged ladybugs with fangs, flying ghost girls with bats, or large-eyed cats with skulls. She was featured in the Artist of the Month showcase for Tapestry Cafe and various write-ups, shows, and galleries, then as a vendor for the horror convention circuit.
Yes. We've been doing horror cons for a long time. That's actually how I started doing my interviews. Meet celebrities and stuff through the horror cons, and I always wanted to do content. I always wanted to be a YouTuber. So I was like, my mom and dad were like, why don't you interview some of the people that we meet? I was like, hell yeah. And it all started from there. My mom is a very incredible artist. I wouldn't be surprised if she's going to be painting more tonight. She's a very, very hard worker, and I love my mom.
Your father is Justin Fullam. He was born and raised in New Jersey. He graduated from Morris Hills High School in Rockaway, home of the Scarlet Knights. Go Knights. Like you, he was passionate about music. He grew up listening to WSOU 89.5 and seeing bands like Bad Religion, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, or Rollins Band at City Gardens in Trenton. Sometimes he'd travel to hear live music at CBGB's in the city. Your parents met and were married. Then you were born in September 2nd, 2004. It was a Thursday. You were named after the musician Elliott Smith and raised in Bud Lake, New Jersey. What were you like as a young child in such a creative family, and what's it like growing up in Bud Lake?
Oh, wow. You seem to know a lot of information, more than I do even about myself. I didn't know I was born on a Thursday. That's awesome. Thursday is a very underrated day of the week. What was it like growing up with my family? Beautiful. I love my mom and dad. I love my life, and I'm very, very lucky because my parents are very heavily in the arts. They love creative stuff. They love art. And like, as you said, my dad would travel CBGBs, see all those classic punk bands and wherever, play live. He was also in a band at some point. So he actually taught me how to play guitar. And that helped me a lot. And they are my guidance. They help guide me through, they've helped guide me through life and, have always been there for me and has always pushed me to go towards art and acting. So I am so very, very lucky to have them in my life for sure.
What's Under the Bed is an interview show where I speak with horror actors and filmmakers about their biographies, careers, and we explore the things that shaped what scares them. Before the influence of movies, what scared you the most as a child? Was there a ghost in the attic or a monster under the bed?
Well, oh man, things that scared me the most. I know this might be, oh, I need to think of a specific one. Simple stuff like just scared of the dark when I was a young kid. Whenever I would have trouble sleeping in my bedroom because my mind is very very active, especially right when I need to rest. Like right when I need to rest, it's like so. I'd always get these like think, oh, there's a ghost in my room or there's a monster in my closet or whatever. And I actually do have a little mini ghost story from when I was a young kid, sleeping in this very bedroom. We have not moved since. Uh, I was sleeping. I was about to fall asleep, and I heard come from my closet. I swear on my soul, I heard this. I heard Elliot like that. I freaked out. I was like, what was that? Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, you're allowed to
Okay. I was
curse.
like, what the fuck is that? What was that? And then I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's just my mind. I'm just gonna try and go back to sleep. And then I heard it louder. I went, Elliot. I was like, oh God. And so I was sleeping right here, on this same pillow, probably. And then I have another couple of other ghost stories about my room. Maybe mainly just ghosts, but I think as I've gotten older, I've come uh at see the ghosts as a peaceful ghost, my little pal. So now I'm not so scared anymore.
Many kids are first introduced to horror through fairy tales or children's stories like and Gretel or Three Billy Goats Gruff. Was there a particular story that scared or excited you most as a child?
Oh man, not any like simple little stories like that. Actually, if you're talking about horror, um, one of the very first horror movies I ever watched was A House of a Thousand Corpses. Um, when I was super, super young. And of course, my parents would cover my eyes for certain scenes. Slither was another one that I watched when I was younger.
Oh, that's a good
And
one.
then when I started to kind of grow consciousness, the first couple of horror movies that I truly remember watching was like Gremlins or like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, like fun little classic horror movies to ease me in. So then I started watching some of the posters that you got back there, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Dream Warriors, uh, definitely um, some of my favorite horror movies of all time.
um, you like the creature from the Black Lagoon, which, by the way, is what carries my microphone, and the
Huh?
Wolfman. Some of your
Yep.
favorite horror movies include Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Yep.
Hereditary, and Dream
Yes.
Warriors. I
Yep.
believe your first, well, no, you just said it. Your first horror movie was A House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yes,
You
indeed.
who introduced you to horror movies specifically, and did your parents have any restrictions on what you were able to watch?
No, my parents were showing me horror movies since I can remember. So they were the ones that were showing me some of those old classics. And still to this day, once in a while, it's like, oh, we're watching a horror movie. You want to come out and watch it? I'm like, sure, why not, right?
Um, so this next thing is a doozy, so bear with me.
Okay.
The High Bridge Branch Railroad line was operated by the Central Railroad, I can't say that word, of New Jersey, and built in 1868 as a connection starting in High Bridge, New Jersey, traveling north to Greenwood Lake. The line was active for more than 100 years, transporting iron ore and the occasional passengers until it was closed in 1974. A length of track was removed between Flanders Road and North Four Bridges Road in 2005 2004 to make the Columbia Trail. This stretch is located about 3 miles south of your childhood home and site of the Hooker Man Lights legend. Witnesses claim to see a spectral light coming down the tracks, growing brighter as it approaches, before passing overhead and fading into the dark. According to legend, the Hooker Man is actually a former conductor named Samuel Crook, who was killed in a train accident in the late 1800s. A few years before his death, he lost his right arm in a separate incident while uncoupling two train cars. As a result, he was fitted with an artificial limb with a hook for a hand. The story goes the lights are from Crook's ghost, swinging a lantern by the end of the hook, searching the tracks for his lost arm. Reports were so common that in 1978, a team of researchers dedicated to the scientific investigation of unexplained phenomena set out to explain the Hooker Man lights. They believed piezoelectricity, an electrical current generated by crystals under pressure, were the cause of the mysterious lights. After 3 hours into their investigation, they saw the lights in person and even captured them on film. According to a local newspaper at the time, it appeared as an orb-shaped gaseous ball of yellowish white light moving about in a swinging pendulum-like manner a few feet over the tracks before disappearing suddenly as if it were switched off. I'm guessing by your reaction, you do know about the Hooker Man lights.
Yes, I do.
But were there other urban legends you heard about growing up in New Jersey?
Oh, there's tons and tons of urban legends in New Jersey, and I find that so funny that you specifically mentioned the Hooker Man, because that's one that my dad and I we would always go hiking and stuff, and we went hiking on the Columbia Trail tons of times, hoping to try and see the Hooker Man a little bit. You're like Nardwar over here. You just that out of the iCloud of my mind. Uh, Man, some other urban legends like the Jersey Devil or whatever. There's tons. I actually own a book called Weird New Jersey, and it has all sorts of cool urban legends, ghost stories, and stuff about New Jersey. There's the classic Devil's Tree or whatever, which if like you touch the tree, something bad happens to you. There's oh man, there was one I had in my mind that I oh Shades of Death Road. Shades of Death Road it's actually called like Shades of Death Road, and I've gone down it multiple times with my dad, and just recently with my dad and Josie. And that road is fucking scary at nighttime to drive down. The last time I drove down it, I was with Josie and my dad, like I said, just before. I'm repeating myself. And we saw two like random white cats walking across the road. It was like it was really, really late. It was dark, and this road goes into like the middle of nowhere. Of course, there's some houses here and there, but in this spot, it was just all nature. So it was like really interesting to see these two beautiful, like white little kittens running around on the road. We were like, oh, should we take them? But we can't. We live in an apartment. But it was Shades of Death Road is one of my favorite ones, and Ghost Lake is on Shades of Death Road, like literally right like on the road. You can park there. And I've gone hiking through there. I've filmed some videos there too.
That's awesome. Your father worked as a production and sales coordinator for DC Comics while you were very young. At the same time, he played guitar for the band Judas Factor and made music under the name Hawkins. He filmed interviews for a zine called Define the Meeting and joined the band Killed by the Bull as their singer. Their album, Failing is Fun, for Koi Records, received great reviews from local music rags like Punk News, Verbicide, and others. Your parents worked remotely and started a small business called Little Punk People to sell your mother's artwork. It grew into a family art collective of 3. You all toured the horror convention circuit to promote the company. Conventions converged with your love for YouTube when you were 9 years old. You mentioned this, and you record interviews with various celebrities and bands for your YouTube channel. In 6th grade, you're in school making tin robots for the science fair and going out for acting auditions. In 7th grade, you start homeschooling to pursue acting, music, and your interviews. What sort of student were you, and how has homeschooling informed who you are today?
I absolutely hated school when I was in public school. I hated it a lot. Um, I've dealt with some very awesome teachers that I am still connected with today, but then there was also some teachers that I really disliked and were actually kind of awful and mean to me. But I find it funny how you brought up the science fair because that science fair sucked. It sucked so bad. Mainly because I made that, to be honest with you, I kind of cheated a little bit with like the robot. It was like a tin can robot that I made with my grandfather. And it was like something that we just like bought or whatever for the science fair. And I think the science fair is more like about doing like conductive research on like this and that. So it didn't really go so well for me. Like everyone had like these giant like boards and stuff, but I loved that dang little robot. I loved it so much. Should have won. But I was always in school. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I made a lot of some of my best friends from school, but my ultimate best friend, my number one best friend, I actually met before school. We went to the same school anyways. Uh, Yeah, I love homeschooling. Homeschooling's the best. That lets me be able to do all the stuff I do, like acting and music and all my TikToks. If you want to be a creative person, I I would 100% look into going into homeschool for sure.
In an age of bullies, active shooter drills, and COVID lockdowns, do you think horror movies provide catharsis for kids trying to cope with these real life fears?
I do. I think I've had so many people come up to me at these horror cons and stuff and say Terrifier 2 is their comfort movie. And Terrifier, like first Terrifier, All Hallows Eve, they're comfort movies to them. And I think there is some sort of maybe some science to it where you're watching something just crazy and brutal. It's like therapy in a way. Just like how I pick up guitar and I'm just like some days, like if I'm like feeling upset or whatever or angry, I will go onto my amp right here and just play guitar, and it gets the feelings out. So maybe when you're watching these movies and you're seeing Art the Clown murder, horrifying, do these terrible, gruesome things, uh, it's also kind of distracting you from whatever's going on the outside world. Horror movies could be a way for you to just be like, I'm just going to sit down, watch my favorite genre of movie, and enjoy this art. Um, and I feel like we will always need as much art as possible, including Art the Clown.
In 2013, your father was asked to give his theory on why kids liked zombies for an article in NewJersey.com. Do you prefer fast zombies or slow zombies?
Ooh, if the zombie apocalypse actually happened in real life, I'd prefer slow zombies. But if I'm watching like a horror TV show, fast zombies are very, very gruesome and very scary. But I'd say slow zombies don't get enough credit because there's something interesting about how they still manage to get their way into biting somebody or killing someone, you'd think, there's just a horde of zombies. They're like walking like so slow. How do they manage to kill so many people? There's something almost like it's like a quietness to it that creeps up on you. But I think fast zombies, if there was fast zombies in real life, we're doomed. We're so doomed.
Well, you're just in luck. Zombie apocalypse. No, I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
Your first role was on the television series Instinct for CBS. You had a number of commercials and small parts before landing your co-lead role on Terrifier 2. Damien Leone finished the screenplay on February 12th, 2019. It was a Tuesday. Damien is warned killer clowns can't sell a movie, but he secures a combination of private funding and an Indiegogo campaign. Filming begins October 2019 and was halted due to COVID. During the lockdown, Leone creates a scene that catapults Art the Clown into horror icon status. The movie premieres at Fantastic Fest on August 19th, 2022, and goes on to make history. You've given so many great interviews about Terrifier 2, so I will only touch on it briefly. Did you keep any props or dressing from the set, and what can you tell us about Terrifier 3?
I do have some props, and they're actually right here in my room, because a lot of what's in Jonathan's room is what was my room. Do I have it here? No, but I do have. I was actually going to have more of a scene with this thing right here. This is Jonathan's room. My mom actually made that for the movie. What else? What else? I know there's a bunch of stuff, and maybe this made it into the room. Both of these records made it into the room, which was kind of props. What else? And I know for sure this King Diamond poster made it into the room as well. So I got to keep. I actually also when the notebook gets ripped up, right? There's two versions of the notebook. Of Dad's notebook. The version that gets ripped up and the version that doesn't. There was two. I got to keep one of the pages that got ripped up. There was like this troll with like one eye or something that I actually loved, and Damien let me keep it.
That's awesome. Sorry. Okay.
You're all good.
You achieve a personal goal by releasing your first album, What's Wrong, on your 18th birthday. It's dreamy, sad, and beautiful slow burn of emotion. Many reviewers make comparisons to Elliott Smith. Oh, there's another one. End of Waves is your latest endeavor. Illustrate magazine called it a mesmerizing symphony that transcends genres and defies conventions, inviting the audience to explore uncharted realms of sound. I'm sorry, I got to put that down so I can grab my mouse. When your father was the lead singer for Killed by the Bull, one reviewer glowed he had spastic energy on stage. Your performances are far more subdued. You played your first official show at the Mercury Lounge in New York City. What do you remember from that night?
First off, I want to say thank you for owning both of the records, and they look very beautiful together, held up right next to each other like that.
This one I actually keep in my room.
That's awesome.
This one in my room. Yeah.
Hell yeah! Thank you. I appreciate that. The Mercury Lounge show was one of my favorite experiences of my entire life, and I do plan on doing more shows for sure. I'm in talks with a tour for at some point right now. But that Mercury Lounge show was so beautiful. Everyone that attended was so awesome, and all indie music fans, and there was also some Terrifier fans too, which was really cool to see. I loved it. The show went perfect. I think there was only one song where I kind of messed up, but I just laughed it off and kept going. The entire show was just truly a dream for me. It was very surreal, and I crave playing more live shows. And once I start getting on it, start playing consistent shows, I'm afraid I will never stop.
Who is the first person you show when you finish writing a song?
The first person I showed when I finished writing a song is my dad, because just like me, he's a full-on music enthusiast. He showed me Elliott Smith. Of course, I'm named after him. He showed me Radiohead and stuff, and he's got a very good natural ear. So it's really cool. It's a really fun process. If I finish a song, I'm like sitting down on that laptop, my guitar, I have one of my guitars right here. Because I was just playing right before this interview. If you're so involved with your own art, your own music, and that's all you're thinking about, all you're listening to, it's good to get a fresh ear right after it. So like my dad would be like, you know what, maybe for this vocal melody you should change it up. That one doesn't hit me as much. I'm like, what is not good? But then I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. After listening back to it, then I'll change it up or whatever. So he's kind of like my producer, like my at-home producer, a little bit in a way. So yeah, my dad's the first one. and then either my mom or Josie gets to hear it next, whoever wants it first.
Do you think more songs have been written about love, lust, or heartbreak?
Do you think more songs? Oh, love,
Yeah, more
lust, or
songs.
heartbreak? Um, Personally, I would say my songs are more so about heartbreak. Um, except for my one song that's about love, and that's dedicated to Josie. I feel like I don't know. I would say as of recent, a lot more songs just in the general public that you'll see are about heartbreak. Um, it's I think it kind of just depends on what genre of music that you listen to. If you just listen to just full on pop, of course it's going to be more about love and lust. But I feel like indie music, which is the realm that I listen to a lot of it's heartbreak. Um, because I feel like indie kind of has a whole resurgence of young fans
Mm-hmm.
and teenagers. The thing that really gets to them and what teenagers will be writing about is about heartbreak. And that's kind of in my case.
We're so angsty, aren't we?
Yeah, we're so angsty, we're so deep, you know. But it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Being a teenager or being a young adult, it could put you in your feels. So I appreciate that type of art for sure. And the fact that some of the greatest bands ever. I mean, like Radiohead. A lot of songs are about heartbreak. Elliott Smith, a lot of heartbreak. Um, Sunny Day Real Estate or whatever. There's so many great heartbreak songs out there. I can never get enough.
You have an epic vinyl record collection. What's
Thank
your
you.
best pitch for collecting vinyl over digital music?
Oh, so basically, how would I convince someone like
Yeah, yeah. What's your
to
pitch? Yeah,
Okay.
elevator pitch me.
All right, I would say it's just simply fun. It's fun. It's like if you collect pop figures, it's like that same type of vibe. And of course, uh, the record, the actual vinyl, to physically hear it, like on a turntable, I think sounds better. I think the quality sounds better. But to have physical media in your hand is such a unique, fun thing. To go in a record store and you're looking for that record that you've been dying to find for a long time, and you find it, it's like a whole discovery, and it makes you enjoy and love and appreciate those bands even more. Uh, some of my favorite records that I own, I have Metallica Kill 'Em All signed record right there. I have a Slayer signed record right there. I just recently got Trick from Alex G, but the original copy, the original pressing on vinyl. It's just fun. It's beautiful. Why wouldn't you? At least give it a chance. At least give it a chance. But I do listen to streaming and Spotify, so I kind of do both.
Yeah, I tend to get my own vinyls, mostly of my favorite like actual albums. Right now,
Yeah.
I just bought Metal from
Oh,
Pink Floyd. I just
nice.
bought that one. I have like Diver Down upstairs, and like
Oh,
those are
nice.
that's like my favorite Van Halen album. So that's like
Oh
what I
yeah.
have for collections. You have a recurring post on social media where you hold up several albums and ask people which are their favorite. You're
Yeah.
also on record saying Queen is one of your favorite bands.
It
Can I
is.
ask you a couple of either or questions?
Yes, sure.
A night at the opera or a day at the races?
Ooh, A Night at the Opera. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So it's so good.
Hot space or the works?
The works, I would say.
That is the right answer.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Jazz or
Ooh.
Queen 2?
Oh, I'm gonna say jazz. I'm gonna go with jazz.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Good on you.
I mean, I think Queen, personally, I think Queen doesn't have like a bad album, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they
They-
don't. They don't.
every album has its own vibe, and it's hard. I would say A Night at the Opera though is definitely my number one for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of has to be.
Yeah.
To refresh myself, me and my father listened to all six I just gave you.
Oh
And
yeah.
Night at the Opera, we kept saying Bohemian Rhapsody's on it, so of course it's gonna be like the favorite. But then we listen to it and it's like, oh my God, this is just spectacular. I forgot how good this is.
It's like an experience.
It is.
I mean, Death on Two Legs is one of my favorite songs of all time. I feel like the way that Freddie Mercury even sings that, it's just like very like angry. Um, and a lot of his songs, I mean, then even like the Lazing on a Sunday Afternoon
I
song,
love
I
that
love
song.
that. It's so good.
Such a
It's
good
so
song.
catchy. In like the little noises that get put in there, and then oh man, there's that one where he sings and it echoes him or whatever. That oh my god,
Yep, yeah,
it's like something about like it's like the prophet or whatever.
Prophet song. That's Prophet song.
Yeah,
Yeah, Prophet song.
such a great song, and it's so epic. Queen doesn't fail to amaze me with any of their songs. So
Yeah.
uh, they're one of the best for sure.
What is your first and last tattoo?
My first and last tattoo, I have two tattoos. So my first tattoo is this. This is a Radiohead tattoo. Hair from the Amnesiac era of Radiohead, and then my last tattoo is this Either or Elliott Smith. It's hard to show that one.
That's fun. Yeah, you got a good picture on the at the last part. Yeah, you were able to get all of it. Yeah.
Sounds good. Good. With tattoos, recently I've been trying. I'm just pausing myself because I got both of these tattoos like really, really quickly. So I want to just ease myself more into it. I want to think about it more for the next tattoo. Also, I'm gonna be filming Terrifier 3, so I don't want to be like fully tatted up for,
Yeah.
for that movie.
Yeah.
So I think if I get anything else, just be any like simple, fun,
Yeah.
maybe music related, maybe movie related. Uh, Thinking about maybe something from Charlie Brown or even possibly an Alex G tattoo at some point. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Right now I am listening to Lower Town, The Lovely Eggs, and Power
Ooh.
Solo on my playlist. Those bands, by the way, are spectacular. What are three bands you're excited about right now?
Well, Lower Town is a great band.
Wait, you know Lower Town?
Yeah, they're awesome.
Sorry, I got really. Wow, that's awesome.
I love them. They're like, aren't they like kind of indie grunge post punk vibes?
Yeah.
And they have the one album that has like the red face on it, right?
That's Gaping Mouth.
Gaping Mouth.
Gaping
Yeah,
Mouth.
I've listened to them a bunch. I do like them a lot. But I want to listen to them even more. Three bands that I've been listening to right now that are on rotation. Oh man, uh, one artist that I've gotten to just recently is named Lobby Sifir or whatever. I'm probably mispronouncing that name so terribly, but they are incredible. There's a song called Canuck Chase by them. So good. So good. The vocal melodies are just insanely incredible. Oh man. Sign Crushes Motorist is one that I've been loving a lot. And Liam McKay never fails to put out a great project. Sign Crushes Motorist, Hold, Take Care, Dead Calm is his most recent one. And then I would say, so I have one more choice here. And I want to make it good because I'm always bad at the last choice. Ooh, let me think. Oh man. My last, I'm gonna say one that's like not so uh underrated or anything.
Yeah, that's all right.
Matt DeMarco, I love, and he's been on my rotation a lot recently. There's this album called Salad Days from him. Uh, I've been listening to every single time I go out to work out in the gym. Uh, it is so good. There's a song called Passing Out the Pieces. Heavy on my rotation right now.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
If heaven was real, what would you want it to look like?
Ooh, that's a great question right there. If heaven was real, what would I want it to look like? I would want it to look like some of the best nature you can possibly visualize. Like to me, there's nothing more beautiful than coming across a beautiful mountain view or like an awesome lake or whatever. Just magnificent green trees, cherry blossom trees, uh, paths or whatever. I would say that's definitely how I would love it. And I would like, if I was to add my own spin on it, I would like to have a recording booth at like every couple 100 feet or whatever. So I would be able to walk around in heaven and enjoy this nice nature. Then, like, you know what? I'm inspired to make a song right now. I'll just go to the recording booth over here. Oh, it's got my favorite guitar. How awesome. How convenient. I would say that would be my dream heaven.
That's great. This last question is a Sophie's choice. Two must die so that one may live.
Ooh.
Number one, Metallica's Master of Puppets.
Oh.
Number two, Them by King Diamond.
Oh.
Or number three, Kiss's Destroyer.
Ah. Two must die so one can live.
Yeah.
How dare you put me through this? You know, now the rest of this interview is going to be talking about this question. Oh man, I'd say you have to think for. I mean, Kiss is one of my favorite. You really put me in the ringer with this question. Oh my god, I'm staring at the Them poster in my room right now, as I'm over there. I'm like thinking, man, I love that album. As much as I love King Diamond, as much as I love Kiss, I think I just simply listen to Master of Puppets more. And I think like a song like Orion, I mean, Cliff Burton, one of the greatest bassists, songwriters of all time. I feel like if you're throwing away and killing Master of Puppets, you're killing that song, and you're killing some of the best songs ever written. Not like Kiss or King Diamond doesn't have great songs in both of those albums. I just feel like Master of Puppets, I mean, your Kiss has plenty of other awesome albums. King Diamond has plenty of other awesome albums. Metallica has plenty of awesome other albums, but I feel like Master of Puppets is just simply my favorite from Metallica.
Yeah. Yeah, good choice.
Thank you.
There anything you want to ask me before we're done?
I just wanted to say I absolutely love your style of interviewing. You're very knowledgeable on everything. I love you. You brought some fun memories from my tin can robot to the hooker man. I deeply appreciate this interview, and next time, maybe after Terrifier 3, I'm totally down to do another one for
That's
sure.
great. That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks.
Keep it up. Never.
Yeah, thanks for sitting down with me. This was awesome.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me. It's fun music and movie and horror movie talk. I love it.